Hello and welcome to Military Mayday, where we're pointing out a few pieces on the chessboard. I've come across a few more pieces. We're going to have to take a little bit of a look at them. One of them's Israeli shooting up some other guys. I can't think right now. We're going to get to this story. I'm going to read through it. Before I do that, if you enjoy this content, why don't you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. It really helped me out. Israeli military warns Hezbollah. Watch very closely what is happening to Hamas. After a Hamas terror attack on Israel, the country launched operations in Gaza. Israel is preparing for a potential multi-front conflict in the region while its military continues operations in Gaza in the wake of the Hamas terror attack on the country earlier this month, as an Israeli spokesperson said on Sunday. We have recruited 300,000 reservists in order to prepare for an eventuality. The reservists are both for the southern front and the border of Gaza, so they are in staging grounds preparing for a potential ground invasion if the government instructs us to do so. But also they're dispersed throughout the communities and on their border and frontier with Lebanon to the north of Israel in our anticipation of a potential uptick in violence with Hezbollah. Israel Defense Force Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner told ABC this week, co-anchor Martha Raddatz, referring to the Lebanese militant group. We've had several skirmishes along the border over the last few days, and even today, during the day, we've had anti-tank guided missiles fired at forces, indeed causes some casualties. So we need to prepare. I would highly recommend that Hezbollah watch very closely what is happening to Hamas and the organization in the Gaza as we speak. They should be very cautious of crossing the threshold because we are determined to defend the state of Israel. So, I'm pretty sure he's talking about this next article that I got, because it's pretty much them wiping out Hamas on the beach while they're swimming, kind of. But anyway, these types of warnings is what really shakes things up and leads to even more violent attacks. And I think it would be best to take these things a little more quietly and under the table. However, I think that powers that be are, really wanting this world war. They're really wanting this going. Now, in this one here, IDF video shows Israeli Navy units spraying machine gun fire at Hamas fighters swimming towards the coast. And I'm pretty sure this is what that guy was talking about. I'll read it out here. Video footage released by the Israeli Defense Forces on Saturday showed members of the Navy's sniper unit fighting off Hamas militants attempting to launch an attack on Israel via the sea. The Palestinian militant group Hamas's sea attack came as a part of a wider wave of surprise attacks by land, sea, and air on October 7th. The group fired a barrage of rockets into Israel while it sent armed paragliders and gunmen, leading to the deaths of at least 1,300 Israelis, up to 150 hostages being taken. The footage appears to show Israeli troops shooting and throwing grenades or depth charges from Defender-class boats at Hamas fighters. It's a picture. The Hamas speedboat has been destroyed by forces from Israel 916th Patrol Squadron using Devorah-class patrol boats. The Times of Israel reported the insurgents on board were thrown into the Mediterranean Sea and then attempted to swim toward the coast. Israeli Navy sniper unit fired on the terrorists who were swimming toward the shoreline in an attempt to infiltrate Israel by sea. The IDF said in an X, formerly known as Twitter, post about the axe incident. Soldiers thwarted a number of terrorists, preventing them from reaching the coastline, it added. Israel has 3 Snapier units with bases in the Mediterranean ports of Haifa and Ashdod, and another at Eilat, a busy port on the Red Sea, Defense News reported. It acts as a security force for the ports while also carrying out border patrols and underwater operations per site. The Israeli Navy will be boosted by the British warship, surveillance aircraft, and elite Royal Marines arriving in the eastern Mediterranean. The U.S. also sent its USS Ford aircraft carrier to the region on its first full deployment in a sign of support for Israel, as insiders previously reported. It also is deploying several state-of-the-art F-35 jets to the region to help deter Iran, which has backed Hamas and the Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah, and prevent the war from deepening and potentially spilling into a wider conflict in the area. Israel's retaliation of October 7th Hamas offensive has targeted Gaza with a massive bombardment that has left 2,400 Palestinians dead and almost 11,000 injured on Sunday morning, according to Palestinian Health Minister resources. That's the end of that article. Sorry about my reading. I worked all night and I started a new position at work. My head's all fucked up. These are a couple I think might be of interest. So, anyway, toodaloo.